How do I look? Do I look good? Oh, we're rolling. Okay. So we're asking people about attraction today. What attracts you to a guy? Well, he has to be sweet, gentle and charming. Have a lot going on for him. Also, be able to show his soft side. Be sensitive, you know. I adore guys who like kids. I would like to meet my kind of guy someday. But unfortunately, all good men are taken or gay nowadays. So tell me, how is your perfect woman? She's sassy, bro. Yeah, definitely. And has a booming body. Peachy bum and, you know, knockers out of this world. Also, if I'm being honest, I like caring girls. I like to cuddle and spend Friday evenings on a sofa, watching TV shows and eating some takeout. But to my luck, all girls like Hollywood actors and rich businessmen. So, that's it for today's People Disconnected from Reality show. And I'll see you next time. When I was planning this topic, I had a huge smile on my face, knowing how much triggering it would create. Unfortunately for myself, I did everything to make the wording bulletproof, so that not all police won't rage. You know, people who have anecdotal claims that would presumably refute general notion on things, just by the single outlier of their own subjective experience. What I'm trying to say, when we talk about attraction between men and women, we generally speak about polarity between masculine and feminine. Why many people get triggered in the comments under videos on similar topics is because there's always a woman who claims that she hates girly things and sees herself as a boss, as a leader, or a man who embraces his feminine side by wearing a lot of color and liking to take care of home chores. That's why instead of talking about attraction between men and women, I will make it harder for the critiques and exchange men and women with masculine and feminine. For those who are new to this channel, there's a video on masculinity and femininity, so check that one out to know which of those sets of traits are closer to your nature. Also, if you have been acting in one way whole your life, know that the societal nurture has set you on a wrong course. In other words, there are many individuals who act out of nurture and suffer because deep down they feel like the opposite. The nature echoes from the depth. Anyhow, let's get down to biz. I want to start by emphasizing how much the knowledge about masculine and feminine traits is important, and you should probably check that one out if you haven't before proceeding. Many know that the dating scene, at least in the westernized cultures, is totally out of whack by now. There are many reasons to that, which I have discussed bit by bit in several videos, but if you would like me to cover it in a separate video, meaning contemporary dating, what's and how's, slide a comment here below. To sum it up, masculine and feminine have been all mixed up because of the societal nurture, and individuals don't know how to navigate through debris and fields of love. Subconscious mind dictates one thing, but the environmental nurture has been teaching whole different game. The clash of external and internal is inescapable. For example, a woman can look and act very feminine on the outside, but when you get to know her on a deeper level, she demonstrates masculine traits like being independent, self-sufficient and non-conformant. Or a man who has a tough gait, spreads out his arms wide when he walks, have a thick beard, yet he becomes a spineless kitty cat in a company of a woman, almost to an extent of being clingy and not having his own will. Now, of course, how we behave in the presence of different people is very dependent on the character of the person that we're around. A woman can be very masculine, yet that one dude makes her melt and become the softest person in the world. Or vice versa, a man being very macho, but that lady in the gym makes his knees buckle and totally lose control. So how does a masculine and feminine interact and attract in a perfect world? I'm well aware that this topic is very complex and I won't be able to cover every aspect and nuance here, but I will do my best to deliver a compact package. Of course, I will return to the topic in the future videos. We all are brainwashed on a daily basis and think that, like in Hollywood films, people meet and fall in love for being beautiful on the inside. It may be true after some time of dating, but the initial phase of attraction has to happen on a superficial level to even grant a chance to get to know the person. We are not naive over here and acknowledge that men and women are sexual beings, and there is a cutoff threshold that has to be surpassed to get deeper into getting to know phase. In order to know what is attractive for both poles, we have to establish how those are valued in sexual contexts. Let's start with what what the masculine appreciates in the feminine. The masculine is very physical and appreciates a lot the shape and form of the feminine. Physical attraction is the first step, and we're talking about accentuating the body with clothing and showing off some skin, like a Snickers bar in a commercial, teasing and enticing with some skin, but letting the rest to the imagination of the perceiver. Of course, there are some more or less masculine traits within a person. Then that person may very well like tomboys and have other fetishes. You know what I mean. For the moment being, we're talking about masculine and feminine stereotypes. The feminine having wide hips and thighs, noticeable bum and slimmer upper body. The face taking care of the skin, showcasing colorful tones. That's why makeup is so potent. Softer mannerisms, higher voice pitch, being gracious with gestures, all signal femininity. Add a hip swinging gait and we have a winning concept. The best part of it that these skills can be practiced, and we should always aim at working with what we got. People can wish for whatever they want, but attraction is a biological predisposition that we cannot reject. It's an innate ability to scan a person of interest to establish a potential match. Back to femininity. Let's see what happens past the superficial level. Attitude that attracts masculine. All traits that were discussed in the video about masculinity and femininity hold true here as well. Being submissive to the masculine, which happens willingly, of course, on a subconscious level, following the lead. Attraction cannot be forced, taking care of the home, the masculine, and showing the nurturing qualities in general. If you have lived at least a couple of decades, by now you should have noticed that masculine tends to have a relatively boring and simplistic living environment. Empty walls, minimalistic furnishing, and no colors at all. The feminine is the opposite of that, hence the polarities are meant to complete each other, not compete. This is where stereotypical conventional feminine chores originate from. Cleaning, preparing food, washing. So what are the masculine traits that makes the feminine's radar go? Looks, showcasing a strong presence with firm posture that signals confidence. Watch the video on body language for more information. No slouching, rather carrying itself like a world leader. Feminine concentrates on the overall impression of the masculine, not solely looks. The femininity is emotional and therefore tries to catch sensations that the masculine aura emanates using intuition. It's amazing how beauty industry has shifted its focus from only serving females to cater males to a larger extent. So much analogical products for males to use, just for the purpose of attracting. Feminine guys trying to attract feminine girls. Funny. Masculine looks are clean, minimalistic, and radiating power. Focus on the presence instead of grooming details. So what attitude compels feminine? Being confident in own actions, knowing the direction and destination, having a clear purpose in life and being able to stand on its own. Being a true leader is about trusting in your own abilities, strong feeling of integrity and being able to say no when needed. Masculine shouldn't doubt itself, and the stability is what grounds the feminine emotional outbursts. Yet another symbiotic synergy. Attraction has to be constant, regardless how long time people have been together. If the bond to last longer, of course. In this case, the woman checks the man, tests and pokes at him. If he recognizes his missteps, he will correct the behavior and continue to march with her at his side. If he doesn't recognize it, her attraction will dwindle off and she will start looking around for the replacement. And vice versa, if the masculine notices, after the infatuation wears off, that the feminine is not caring or shows signs of empathy, nurturing, motherhood qualities, then it can be a reason to move on. The key factor of attraction is polarity, of course, and there's always an improvement margin, a space to increase one's sexual value for the opposite. So to sum up in a very brief matter, the feminine looks for confidence, assertiveness, rugged looks, self-sufficiency, resourcefulness and wisdom of different kinds. The masculine looks for youth, fertility cues, beauty, nurturing capabilities, warmth, empathy and support. So I didn't mention taking care of the body because it's a given, a prerequisite. Becoming what you want to attract is the first step. If you work with these qualities, you will be always able to raise the standard for what comes your way. Many focus on minutiae and forget the foundation, which is body and mind, the physical, the mental, the spiritual. And unfortunately, loyalty is optional because it's an acquired trait for survival. Our biological nature wants us to improve and get better, even if that means to getting a new, more suitable partner if opportunity presents itself, if some needs are not met, especially when the ability to survive is out of question nowadays. Yet again, this video is a stepping stone, and we will delve deeper into the topic in more videos. And remember, life is awareness of contrasts. Hossein out.